It started with a tap, a delicate, tender sound, a knock that resembled a gentle caress more than a precursor of difficulties. Simply a gentle reminder that life continues to flourish past the tranquility of my serene abode. I sauntered to the door in my robe, my hair still damp from the uninspiring shower I had consumed earlier that morning. As I opened the door, I anticipated the recognizable figure of the mail carrier, or maybe a neighbor pays a visit. However, I was welcomed by Jake, my best friend's young man, 19, towering with a subtle sheen from the embrace of summer's warmth. He donned a white tank top, the garment that adhered to his torso and enveloped his arms flawlessly. The ideal places his unruly curls encircled his face, and his smile radiated a vibrant charm, full of youthful exuberance. "Greetings, Miss Naomi," he remarked, lifting a tiny container. "My mother asked me to convey this to you." His tone carried a profound echo. In that moment of transience, I caught myself blinking. Subsequently, a smile spread across my face. "Oh, Jake, it seems like ages since we last encountered one another." He handed me the package. A delicate aroma drifted through the fragrance of soap and cologne, mingled together, bathed in sunlight. "Indeed, I have been rather engaged with academic pursuits and a range of activities, obligations. Yet my mother highlighted the importance of this issue. Kindly make your way here." "In," I said, stepping aside. "Permit me to offer you something invigorating. Refreshing and tangy, lemonade is a delightful beverage that captures the essence of summer. Its bright yellow hue and invigorating taste make it a perfect companion for warm days and gatherings. Whether enjoyed on its own or as a base for creative cocktails, lemonade never fails to uplift the spirit." He hesitated, filled with doubt. Glimmering in his gaze, "Only if you are definitely." "Persevere." As he stepped into the room, and there was an air of fascination concerning. His movements exuded a sense of ease and assured that they departed from my throat. Thirsty. Maybe it was the way in which his tank revealed just enough to envision the remainder within one's thoughts. Maybe I had merely encountered solitude for a prolonged duration. I poured 2 glasses and extended one to him. Our fingers brushed against each other for a brief instant. Then he gazed at me with his deep brown eyes and extended a gentle smile. "Just so you know, you look absolutely amazing." I let out a laugh that came a touch too quickly. In this season, Robotus agrees. "Certainly not. I truly mean it." He spoke of enrolling in ASIP. One, it remains with me. The words hung in the space that exists between us. Transcendent and intangible. Dangerous, sweet fog. We discovered our place within the confines of the living room. I crossed my legs, a wave of realization enveloping me regarding my attire. Tranquility. Jake's eyes flickered momentarily to my revealed thigh. Just before he turned his eyes away with a sense of respect, I paused to clarify my throat. "How is your experience at school shaping up?" "Unexciting," he said with a grin. "I would like to participate in a practical engagement." I inhaled deeply. A transition. In the atmosphere, an occurrence took place. Maybe it was merely a creation of my mind. Perhaps it was simply my own untamed reflections. Still, I felt it. I took another sip of lemonade, creating an endeavor to uphold a joyful demeanor. It appears you possess a remarkable talent for, you know how to handle tools, don't you?" "Indeed," he replied. "Noted. I help my uncle with occasional plumbing tasks, only..." Thus, a thought subtly made its way into my awareness, appearing untainted initially at first sight, but imbued with a hint of darkness. Subtle hints lurking below the surface. The shower has been acting strangely, I noted. There's an absence of urgency, and I truly have an aversion to cold water. Could you take a moment to review?" "This?" He adjusted his stance. As long as you're not in a hurry," he grinned widely. "Seize the reins." I guided him to the restroom. With each step, my robe flowed gracefully, and I remained silent. Endeavor to modify it. He knelt beside the tub, contemplating it deeply, examining the controls on the tubes. I remained in his shadow, watching the manner in which the muscles in his back moved under the soft layers of his tank superior. "There's a leak down here," he said. He noted, reaching out with his hand. "Furthermore, it appears that a washer might be necessary. Is it feasible to fix it instead of replacing it?" Certainly a visit to the hardware store might be in order. The store is organized. As I knelt next to him, I felt a sense of discomfort. Shut. Our shoulders grazed against one another. His breath appeared to linger in the atmosphere for an instant. He directed his eyes upon me, and this time he maintained his stare unwavering. Our expressions were awkwardly intimate, profoundly quiet. His eyes hovered on my lips, then traced along the graceful cascade of my attire. I should have created some distance. I should have found my voice, but chose to hold my tongue. Neither did I. The silence expressed our silent musings. "I appreciate it, Jake," I whispered. Due to the quality of his voice, gentle, as though it were a concealed reality, for stirring feelings inside me again. He chose to stay quiet. He simply looked at myself. At that moment, it dawned on me all had transformed. On that night, I found myself lying in bed, my fingers glide softly across my lips, as though he had just pressed his lips to theirs. He possessed no. At this time, no. Still, I longed for him to do so. I should not have. He existed, the child of my dearest companion. Vibrant, captivating, curious, and yearning is limitless. As I swung the door open to something I could not silence. The next morning, my thoughts were overwhelmed by thoughts of Jake. Those gaze he possesses, those hands he wields. The manner he looked at me, making me feel as though I was greater than just a mother, to someone more than just an aged widow adorned in a luxurious silk robe. As I found myself standing before in the mirror, I softly ran my fingers through my hair, feeling adrift, lost in contemplation. Today, my robe had a certain softness more fitted than normal. Nevertheless, I noticed how my skin glowed, as if it remembered his warmth, even though he hadn't touched me at all. A gentle rap at the door reverberated once again. My soul hurried. Was it possible that it was him? I unveiled it. Truly, there he was, standing there. Dear Jake. Yet, on this occasion, he donned something unique rather than a tank top. He wore a black t-shirt that hugged his relaxed-fit jeans, which draped effortlessly, harmoniously aligned. Within his hold, he gripped a tiny brown pouch. "The washing machine has been brought," he noted, lifting the bag. "It aimed to finalize the fixes on your shower, yet I maintained, returned, vanished." A soft laugh to conceal the speed. My heart pounded with fervor. "Your kindness is genuinely valued." He stepped in again as though he had always belonged. "Have been involved in it." In this moment, I witnessed the way he glided, warm, self-confident, radiating a quiet strength. We created the journey to the bathroom once again. The fabric of my robe glided gently over my thighs. His gaze seized the moment, yet it progressed rapidly. He descended to his joints. He unzipped the bag and commenced its duty as I sat atop the cutting edge. I caught myself stealing glances at him from the tub, striving to turn away my stare. Nevertheless, I was unable to achieve success. "You seem to be fixated on me," he commented, remains turned away. A smile adorned my mouth. "Your appearance is rather pleasing." He slowly lifted his gaze, locking eyes with me. "You are too." Once again, silence enveloped the surroundings. The gentle that captivates you on a deeper level than words can ever. "In need of a towel?" I asked suddenly, standing up with urgency. "Indeed," he noted. "My hands are damp." He turned and proceeded in the direction of the linen cabinet. My robe softly glided down my shoulder. I decided against it, fix it. As I turned, I discovered him positioned closer than before just now. Water flowed gracefully from his palms. "This is it," I gently uttered as he received the towel from her. He grasped. In place of that, upon drying his hands without delay, he raised his fingers and gently caressed a droplet of water cascades from my collarbone. The caress was soft. overly soft. I inhaled deeply. "Naomi," he said. It takes on the form of a question, much like I looked deeply into his eyes. There was no trace of guilt. Warmth effortlessly sparks curiosity. I permitted him to proceed. His hand moved effortlessly to my waist, and then, in a fleeting moment, our lips intertwined in a gentle caress. It was not swift, it was orderly. The experience revealed itself with a soft and enduring sweetness. I surrendered to his embrace, my hand gliding over his form, rising his torso, feeling the exhilaration of his heartbeat accelerating in flawless harmony alongside my own. He paused briefly, recoiling just a bit. "I have been filled with anticipation. I have been working on that since yesterday," he stated. I swallowed hard. I possess. I longed. It was quite some time before your arrival. That the revelation was devastating, a bond that exists in the void that separates us. He applied pressure. His lips brushed softly against mine. Once again, explore more profound this time. The rope I held slipped from my grasp, landing with a clatter against the jar, and I allowed it to unfold. His hands explored my vessel. It felt like I was a story he had yearned to discover, each curve enchanting him, every single inch, every gentle breath I fought to hold back. I recognized myself as a woman, more than edges, simply a widow, transcending the role of just a mother. I longed, craved for the essence of being. Later, we lounged on the luxurious bathroom on the rug, our bodies entwined, hearts intertwined, pulsating fervently. We persisted, paused in quiet contemplation. Finally, Jake whispered, "Was that adequate?" I turned my attention and observed him closely. "Better than acceptable. I possess none the aim of applying pressure on you. It appears that you did not. I expressed that I wanted this in the same way profoundly as you did." He donned a luminous smile that not only amplified his vibrancy, yet also conveyed a sense of resilience. "It may be wise to maintain," I proclaimed this to ourselves. He provided a subtle inclination of the head. They just couldn't comprehend it. I looked up at the ceiling. I discover it utterly baffling. Nevertheless, I possess no remorse lingers. I did not. Within that snug, in a welcoming bathroom, I stumbled upon something I thought had vanished for all time. Long for a physical connection, an experience that goes beyond simple isolation. It emerged as a youthful individual of 19, who rejuvenated the essence of femininity. The subsequent morning arrived and I discovered myself in Jake's black t-shirt. The aroma evoked memories of... He was immaculate, vibrant, overflowing with whimsical shenanigans. He left after our meeting in the restroom, a tense smile dancing on his lips and brightening his cheeks bathed in a soft pink glow. However, right before he stepped back and Dora pulled me closer for a moment. The last kiss. Take your time during this round. Prolonged as he wished to remember the core of my taste, as I moved, stepping lightly into my kitchen. His garment flowing elegantly to the mid-thigh. The warmth of his hands stayed with me. Leading Ling continued to be in attendance. I completed my personal mug. A cup of coffee sat on standing at the counter, lost in thought as I looked out the window. The sun loomed majestically in the sky. The air was alive with the melodious chirping of birds. Nevertheless, inside me, a storm had started to gather. What steps did we undertake? I had reached the age of 56. At the tender age of 19, he found himself poised on the edge of the journey into adulthood, the child of my dearest companion. I should have brought it to a close. I should have kept my distance from him. Nevertheless, I decided against it. In the beginning over the years, I encountered the feeling of contact, deeply touched. Beyond simple interaction, it represents the bond between spirits. He recognized my appearance around midday. The resonance of my phone shattered the stillness. Fragment of composing. "Hello, Jake. Could it be everything? Is it all right if I drop by later?" I stared at the communication for a fleeting instant. My fingers hovered over the keys as I commenced to write. "Truly, the doors open wide, broad." My heart pounded with fervor. As the moment I hit send at 2 p.m., he emerged once more in my doorway, clutching a bag brimming with, he noted that he had provisions. I have chosen to create something special for you. Today, stepping into the realm, Are you? Are you in the kitchen at the moment? I asked, raising an eyebrow. Challenges are arising, he grinned widely. Still, I endure. I chuckled softly and led him toward the culinary space. He set the bag down on the ground and gathered pasta, tomatoes, and a modest piece of cheese. In that ephemeral, at that instant, he seemed completely blameless. This was rather unremarkable, nothing out of the ordinary concerning it. This was our routine, a familiar pattern we embraced. He gently cooked the pasta while I chopped the components. The tomatoes. We labored side by side, our shoulders gently touching each other from time to time. Sometimes our hands grazed one another as we made contact. The identical spoon. Small glimmers, innocuous yet enticing. Naomi, he inquired softly. Did I overstep my bounds yesterday? I took a moment to reflect. I cast my gaze upon him. There stood more than merely a teenage boy caught in the throes of infatuation. A man brimming with inquiries and a thirst for knowledge caught my eye. And perhaps, just perhaps, something more profound. No, I replied in a gentle tone. You haven't crossed anything. We both embarked on a journey together. He gave a slight nod. Yet the quiet that ensued revealed everything. He remained uncertain. Indeed, it is not typical, he stated. You have aged. You are uniquely yourself. What am I? Lovely and intelligent, beyond my reach. I blinked. Then a smile graced their lips. You're delightful. He gazed at me as if there were unspoken words lingering in the air. Yet he moved in closer, his fingers extended and made contact. My cheek. May I have the pleasure of kissing you once more? He inquired, his voice scarcely rising above a whisper. I gave a slight nod, and in that moment our lips connected once more. Gentler this time, more deliberate, with greater attention to detail. His arms encircled my waist, and I found myself surrendering to the warmth of his embrace. My hand glided beneath, fingers tracing the contours of his abdomen. He inhaled sharply. That sound awakened a profound feeling within me. Our lips met in a gentle embrace until the water reached its boiling point, bubbling and hissing as it met the stove. Later we settled onto the couch, plates of half-eaten pasta resting in our laps, sharing laughter over the unfortunate flavor. I playfully suggested to Hesmold that we should have gone with pizza instead. Next time I'll leave the cooking to you. His hand lingered on my exposed thigh, fingers tracing gentle circles. I remained still. I remained unperturbed. I desired it. It was essential for me. Do you feel fear? He inquired. In an instant, a thought crossed my mind. Indeed, however, I feel no remorse. He leaned closer, pressing his lips against my shoulder. Neither one. There it happened once more. The irresistible draw, the discomfort that lingers between the purity of innocence and the awareness of impending consequences. Yet at that instant, it held no significance. The only thing that held significance was the path taken. His touch awakened a sense of renewal within me, as if I were blossoming once more. Vibrant, seeking, adored. Not at this moment, but perhaps in the future. He lingered that night, not departing immediately. We reclined in bed, his chest pressed against my back, his warm breath gently caressing my neck. His hand sought mine beneath the sheets, gripping it firmly, cozy, secure. In that instant, I understood that this was more than a fleeting experience. This was evolving into something significant, something more perilous, something genuine. To all my amazing Ella Infidelity Story subscribers, I appreciate your continued support. Until the very last moment, you remain the pulse of this channel. If you're just joining us, go ahead and tap that subscribe button to become a member of a community that embraces love and ventures into the unknown. Let us embark on the journey into the concluding chapter. The morning sun filtered through my bedroom window, painting golden stripes across the sheets. Jake lay beside me, still lost in slumber, his hand delicately placed on my waist, his breath a gentle whisper against the nape of my neck. He appeared serene, so youthful, so delicate. I observed him intently for an extended period. This young lad, this individual, the son of my closest friend. In what manner have we arrived at this point? How did a single package evolve into a fervent passion? I slipped out of bed gently, mindful not to disturb him, and stood by the mirror wrapping my robe around me, feeling the heaviness of what we had become, finally settling weighed heavily on my chest. What might others express? What might she express? His mother, my dearest companion, for more than 2 decades. What would her gaze be like if she discovered that her son had shared a kiss? My lips met. As I lay there, trembling beneath him, my body softly called out my name. Could she ever find it in her heart to forgive me? Jake stirred from his slumber shortly thereafter. He approached me from behind in the kitchen, encircled my waist with his arms, and placed a tender kiss in the curve of my neck. "Morning," he murmured, his eyes still heavy with sleep, a smile playing on his lips. "Good morning," I murmured. Yet my voice carried a distinct quality, taut and measured. He observed immediately. "What seems to be the issue?" he inquired. I rotated in his embrace, cradling his face gently within my palms. "Jake, we must have a conversation." His smile vanished. He was aware of this. "This can't continue," I murmured gently. "We have crossed a boundary, and no regrets here, however, it is quite intricate, excessively intricate." He remained silent, his gaze locked onto mine as if he were seeking something to grasp. "You are 19, I noted. "I am who I am. You are something truly special," he remarked hastily. "You've occupied my thoughts from the very instant I stepped into your home." His words tugged at my heartstrings. Yet my fear resonated more strongly. "What would happen if your mother discovers it?" I murmured. "What if this destroys all of it?" He moved in closer, his hands softly holding my hips. "In that case, we shall proceed with caution." "Yet how much longer can we continue to conceal ourselves?" I inquired. He paused, uncertainty flickering in his eyes. In that moment of silence, we both understood that what we shared transcended mere desire. No longer it was peril. The flames danced fiercely with no water in sight to quell their fury. 2 days went by. I refrained from calling him. He did not text.